Alright, welcome, THLers out there to the Duo Tournament. Got a couple of famous players within THL. We have Mr. Man Heatshock, been around for a couple seasons. We have Nice Jewish Owl, who's also casting tonight, or at least for the first couple rounds. How are you guys doing today? Yeah, so speaking about the strong players, there's quite a few. We got 16 teams last was reported through Battlefy there, so I know Ducharmeau's cooking up the brackets as we speak. Um, was there any players that you guys have seen in our 16 players that have jumped out at you as either an odd pair or like a holy crap pair? Yeah, it's there's another one that's kind of interesting as well, which is Lotus Knight and Aviously. So that's another big pair. Yeah, so just to I know our viewers can't see who's all registered right now. So we got Bill Snyder and C-Mac. We have Neji Boston and Ducharmeau. We have Berserk and Rescue Wabbit. We have Wild and Superhero. We have Jester and T-Stew. Ron Mexico and Clarity. Roadrunner and MMW. Damon and Tavin M. Lotus Knight and Aviously. Foggate. Is it Foggate? I can't. I can never spell or say his name. Fog. Fog Hyatt, whatever. Anyway, and then we got Grunge Bear. We got Slotty and Sunday, and then we have Lefty 21111 and Kel, your mom kid and Agent PWE, Snake and Passed Away, and then we had two other individuals. We had Nails, who is going to be the pilot, and a person named Light, but I don't know their partners yet. Yeah. Well, there you go. That's all you can hope for is teammates to suck out so bad, right? So, the first person we are going to be spectating once the brackets are up is Bill Snyder and C-Mac. So we just gotta wait for the brackets to come up to Jester. Nice. Fresh here. Here we go. Yes. Couple seasons so far? Yeah. Very, very active. So looks like Jester has brought Paladin, Mage, Rogue versus Bill's Priest, Rogue, and Demon Hunter. Stabs Cutter Butter. All right, so now we're just get situated here. So it's Jester and T-Stew. Don't know if the players are in game yet. Yep, it's actually, if you scroll up a little bit, yeah, it's in the, get the, all the guys are online. So we predict what bands are going to be? Which one? Page? All right. Hi. That must have been interesting. All right, so we're just waiting for the gang at uh, Snyder Mac, I guess we'll call it. See what they got to get ready. I know Jester's side is ready, so those guys. No real ETA because they depends on if the players want to get going.
To us their 7-mana play on the backswing. But yeah, I've been playing it in Warlock, and it usually wins the game when it comes down against Paladin or Rogue.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think a lot of the decks now are so sort of focused on that early game board presence and then sort of that burn and chip damage in the late game that if you're able to slam those big mid-game threats, there's not too much they can do about it.
Yeah, definitely.
So, just to apologize for our viewers there. So the entire time while I was unmuted, you guys were muted. See?
Oh no.
So a good solid 5 minutes of us chit chatting and doing our thing, but it's unmuted now, so we are good to go. We're just still waiting for Bill Snyder. They could hear me, but they couldn't hear you guys, so wasted content. Wasted content.
Oh, wow.
Well, we'll hopefully have another chance to go over the intricacies of the Demon Hunter deck in the future.
There we go. So it looks like both
That's
players
about
are
all
ready.
you missed.
Yeah, looks like both players are ready, so I think we can jump into the match. So we'll start off with spectating Bill Snyder first and then Jester second.
Yeah, still waiting for the players to head into that match. It looks like they've both readied up on the Battlefy, but bans aren't in yet.
Nope. Bans. It looks like Ron Mexico and Clarity got Nails. Nails and Lumble. That's who it is. Lumble.
That is not a team I'd want to see myself against
No.
round one.
So Ron is hyped, which is good. He is Ron hyped.
Definitely. He is a very enthusiastic and energetic person, so
Gotta love the guy for that.
You guys will get to enjoy him later when he comes on stream.
Yeah.
Well, that's assuming he doesn't win the whole tournament.
Oh yeah, if he just wins, then you'll never see him.
But he does have that lovely good luck charm of being second and everything, so he could be not champion at least, but second place.
Yeah, how many second places did he get in Masters Tour qualifiers? I think it was multiple.
Well, I know he got second place in the one that qualified him because for some reason nobody kicked him out when he got his fourth top 8, so he played 2 more games.
Oh my. Ron, you'll have to update us when you finally hear this stream.
Well, he got his packs, right?
Yep.
By staying in.
He did. That
and
he
let's
did.
be fair, if he gets second place in the Masters Tour, that would be pretty impressive.
Yeah. He would definitely be a GM then, considering the competition.
Yeah.
Not a lot of America's victors within the Masters Tour system.
I just messaged Bill to let him know when he's going in. And where's Jester?
Yeah, looks like we're still waiting on those bans. As you were saying earlier, we expect Bill Snyder's probably going to ban out Jester's Paladin. Jester's probably going to ban out the Rogue. Although there's a decent argument for any ban from Jester. I think it's really just going to be, can his Mage get through this lineup?
Yep.
Right. I think that's the biggest question for me is how much pressure are you willing to have the Mage up against? Because you have to also consider the Rogue.
So I just messaged both players there. So Bill is telling me he's waiting on Jester. So that's what we're doing.
Okay.
They haven't locked horns yet. So.
Mm-hmm. I think with how we were saying earlier while muted, I think with how the Demon Hunter and the Rogue are built, the Demon Hunter is the toughest deck for the Mage probably, and the easiest one for the Rogue from Jester.
Gotcha.
So, and then I think the Rogue is kind of in the middle, and then the Priest will be easiest for the Mage and hardest for the Rogue.
Yeah, I think because of that, you probably want to leave that Priest up because you're going to be fairly confident you can get that Rogue win, and you're really going to struggle to get that Mage win. But although the issue then is if you leave the Priest up, you've then said I want to play against Priest this match, and I don't know if
Right.
I'd want to do that.
So I know what the delay is. Jester just was told by his teammate he'd be there in 5, and it's been 10. So still waiting.
Oh, well.
Something like that.
Happens
Well,
to the
it
best
does.
of us.
Life happens. So, yeah. So we still don't even have bans just yet. Till that happens. Do we want to try another spectate another match while we're?
Yeah, we can maybe jump into Ron versus Nails. That might be interesting
Yeah.
if we're already there.
Let's do that. We'll jump in.
And then we can come back to this one maybe if they're starting late. We get to catch a little both.
It's good to me.
So let's jump in with Ron first. Spectate Ron first, if I can find him. Oh yeah. Okay.
Ron also bringing Demon Hunter. Nails went for the more standard mage. They both have Rogue and Paladin, and they both banned Paladin.
Okay. So we are going to spectate.
And looks like we're hopping in mid-game. We're seeing this Demon Hunter versus Mage. And I'm seeing an Ogre Mancer on Ron's board. Is that in his Demon Hunter list?
It is the one of Ogre Mancer for the Mage matchup. Unlike Bill, he has gone for the Watch Post version rather than the Soul.
Right.
No Ice Barrier, unfortunately, for Nails. I'm sure that was his first choice if available.
Well,
But here on the
second
second option, he does get it.
Yep.
Although he might have liked to get Counterspell and Ice Barrier. He only gets one of them.
Very interesting pick with the Oasis ally with no minions on board. I think
the options were all quite bad. I don't think that rigged fair game was ever going to trigger.
That's fair. And Water Elemental is very, very strong against Soul Demon Hunter. And it's definitely worth considering there. Just,
right, if he can get it in play before the Sildari on turn 9, potentially game-winning, just permanently preventing that damage from ever connecting.
And you have a way to make a minion with this Primordial Studies in hand.
Right, we'll have to see if the I-Beam comes down, if it's small enough to deal with that. A little bit of a question about this ordering on the Panther. Probably could have come down earlier in the turn. Just to see what the card is. It probably doesn't change anything.
Maybe he's instead choosing to sort of play around secrets, play the spell first to test, play the smaller minion first to test, and then go for the Panther and finish out your turn.
I do like playing the Battle Fiend into the Mirror Entity. I think that's probably smart. Although I don't even know if you can afford to hit it necessarily. Maybe you play the I-Beam in that situation. It's not going to end up mattering. I don't know if I love that choice because he really wanted to trigger the Water Elemental here. This minion's not going to get attacked.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure as well.
Maybe if you can find something from this Refreshing Spring Water.
Yeah, we don't see a Pexus
No
Blast.
minions.
Would probably been the best option, but do hit Combustion for a clean board clear, and then...
And a 10 face damage as well.
Yeah. And no Warblades in hand for the Demon Hunter, so they're going to be a little low on healing, and there's 16 burn potential from the Mage's hand when this Phoenix awakens.
Certainly. I think Ron's going to be upset to see no weapon here to get this Eldari next turn, but he may just play 2 Bladed Ladies here for board presence. You could even Eldari first, I think, to see.
If you really want the weapon, you could try Studies, and if you hit... I'm forgetting the name of it, but the 2/2 that does 1 to all enemies, that would let you play the Illidari next turn.
Right. I think that would be the pick too, because then you can hold this Fury for potentially turn 10, an extra damage point. Nails is at 30 health, so Ron is going to need all the points of damage he can find to close this out.
Yeah, definitely comes down to the balance of you want to both kill your opponent, but you also want to make sure that you're not down.
Ron choosing to draw the card rather than getting the hero power in. He could have.
Yeah, I can't think of any specific outcast card that he would have been trying to hit there. Not sure about that order.
The 1 damage seems like it could have been very good. Fireball Ring Toss, an excellent pickup here.
Yeah, it does feel bad that you're using one of these fireballs before your spell damage wakes up, but getting this corrupted ring toss, probably worth it.
Ice Barrier, easy.
Yeah.
And probably Netherwind if it's available, or Counterspell. Either of those, I think.
Vaporize also would be.
I think Vaporize rotated, didn't it?
Did it? Not sure.
I've never seen that card
Okay.
from. Yeah, it definitely rotated because I've never seen it. From
I've
this.
still been playing around it then, and I shouldn't be.
Yeah. There's the Counterspell. Oh, but he didn't take Ice Barrier first time?
Netherwind, I think.
So now he has to take the Ice Barrier, right?
Rigged fair game.
This is questionable to me.
Yeah.
This is never going to trigger, right?
Well, if Ron just plays out this 8-drop this turn, or if he takes a turn off to try and draw some cards, it might. Of course, no minions on board is making these I-beams flanking the hand look really bad.
Oh my, that's... Well, okay, now the Rigged Fair Game is going to trigger, right? He can't even get through this. What a disaster.
Man. Although with both fireballs gone, it's going to be a little harder for the mage to capitalize on that.
I don't think it's going to matter. We've got to get... If it's the 3 cards, Nails is going to have all the resources. The Ice Barrier still hasn't even been popped, so he's at 31. Oh, but he doesn't have Ice Barrier. Sorry. My bad on that. The Oasis ally is a problem as well. Ron is really getting punished here for the choice of the draw last turn rather than the hero power. He could have just played an Outcasted Skull.
Yeah, we are going to see this Rigged Fair Game trigger. Oh man, Mask of Cthulhu and Apexis in hand.
That's enough damage. That's it.
Yeah, that's that exact. It's 1 over lethal with. Or no, they wouldn't have mana to heal cards. It's exactly lethal. Yeah.
I have some questions about some of the lines Ron took here. I think that there was definitely a path where he doesn't get quite so punished.
Yeah, I think especially letting that Rigged Fair Game go off. If you let your opponent have that many cards, it's going to be very hard to win.
Right.
Although,
I mean, it's really unfortunate to see a 3/8 taunt there. That's not something he could have really anticipated too much. But the choice of playing that draw your Outcast card right when you had no mana, if he had done that the following way, hit the skull, outcasted the skull, maybe there were some options.
Yeah.
Certainly if he hero powered first, just to make sure taunt doesn't get in the way of Rigged Fair Game.
I think especially if you're Ron, seeing that mage slip by your Soul Demon Hunter
it hurts.
Feels very bad.
Not to mention the rogue is a weapon rogue, and I think that just kills the Demon Hunter before it gets to do anything. There is an Ogremancer. Ogremancer can shut down the weapon buffs and prevent it from ever connecting. But that's tough to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that matchup previously was already very, very favored for the Weapon Rogue, and Weapon Rogue's gotten considerably more new tools than Soul Demon Hunter has, so I would think it's probably still quite favored for the Rogue.
Right, there just is a degree of inevitability in the Rogue with a new weapon. You just never run out of charges, and you can keep hitting forever and ever and drawing cards.
Mhm.
I ended up bringing an Ooze to Specialist because I was just terrified of Weapon Rogue. Because it just has that inevitability if you can't build a board against it.
Yeah, I also had 2 Oozes make their way into one of my lists for Specialists. Scared of Weapon Rogue as well.
I don't think anyone ended up bringing it because they were all scared of Paladins, I guess, but yeah.
Certainly seems to be going a little better for Ron, and plays this Cult Neophyte this turn. It would shut off Boyne's
Right.
sword.
I think that Ron is actually in a pretty good position this game. He played this 2-1, which is actually putting in some decent damage. Damage, you have to kill this rogue before too long because it will kill you. I like the Watch Post brain. Oh, you can't play the Brain Freeze. You could play the Wand Thief in the Watch Post. Watch Posts, I did some testing yesterday against Weapon Rogue. I was playing Warrior, but if you play Watch Post against Weapon Rogue, it just can demolish them in a way because they draw so many cards and they're all like 1 or 0 mana.
Yeah. Watchpost is definitely, I think some people overrated it, some people underrated it. I think it's definitely put in a decent amount of this meta, just because a lot of the decks are so tuned with their mana cost that disrupting them by 1 can be massive.
Right, and if we saw this Watch Post last turn, the weapon wouldn't be big enough to kill it here, and it would deny several cards worth of draw at the appropriate cost. This Wand Thief cannot find anything here to shut down the weapon very well. Mirror Image and Frostbolt have both rotated to protect you. You could find an Ice Barrier or Deep Freeze, but Deep Freeze will take a long time. I don't know if Ron has that time.
So if this weapon attacks into that Watch Post and kills it, are the cards drawn still increased in mana cost?
That's a good question. I'm not sure I know the answer. I'm not sure.
Wow, I anticipate we might find out shortly.
I think we will. The Netherwind is probably the choice here.
Yeah, I think
Rogue plays a lot.
Without any card draw in hand, I might consider the Cram Session, but I think Netherwind's strong enough that I'd rather just take that.
Right, and I'm also thinking about a 3/8 that we just saw. That might be pretty good.
That is fair.
Interesting choice to just draw here immediately without killing the Watch Post. I think this Watch Post needs to go. I think that you can't afford to be playing like all of your cards for 1 more mana. It's not the difference of 1 mana crystal because you play so many mana in 1 turn. So many cards in 1 turn as the rogue. And Nails is still very far from ending the game, I think.
Yeah, I mean, this weapon on its own is only going to be 21 damage or 24 with this Paralytic Poison, which isn't enough to close out the game on its own.
And Ron's pushing damage himself. Nails is at 19. He's going to be going lower next turn. He's going to be taking at least 7. So going down to 12. I'm not sure. I think Nails needs to set up a lethal here.
Drawing
if he
even
wants
more
to.
Cards.
Wow.
Okay.
Do we pick Kazakus and try and get a 1 mana buff here? I think that's what I would go for.
Seems
Or
like the
even a
best
taunt would be
option.
very strong. A taunt copy?
Definitely seems like a better option than just
Another one's fine. I mean, the rogue is going to play a spell, but it may not set up lethal if he doesn't. So, like, maybe the rogue plays around Netherwind, just hits face. Ron doesn't have lethal on the other side. I think I would go for Kazakus personally, but the Netherwind seems respectable. The potential for hitting the taunt duplicate or the buff seems worth it.
You play Kazakus just for a 1/1.
At this point, I think the time is run out on
damage
Kazakus.
board. Yeah.
It's just going to have to... Does Ron disagrees? Okay.
Yeah, well, Kazakus for just a 1-mana golem here does set up lethal next turn. Although he went for a 5.
He went for the 5.
Yeah.
5 with lifesteal. So Ron wants to slow this game down. He may be able to do it with the watch post.
Don't know if the rogue's gonna play any minions though. That's gonna be. Although with a hand like this.
Oh no! Double prize plunderer. This is bad for Ron.
I don't know if it is though, because this golem's gonna then let it.
It's gonna heal.
6. Plunder or something.
But this watch post is going away now.
Yeah, although I think the game's just gonna be over in the next couple turns. I don't know if it makes that much of a difference.
So you can prize plunder the 3/2 and then the 2/3 and then draw. You could just kill the Kazakus as well. Maybe that's better.
Ah, hits the prep. Oh, prep. Wicked stab. That. Very good.
This is powerful.
Though, if that wicked stab was supposed to go face, setting up.
I think it was. Turn. I think it was supposed to go face.
I think.
It only killed it. I mean, it killed a 3/4. The sword is immune. It could be immune while attacking with the paralytic poison. So you could play that and hit the golem so it doesn't heal farther.
Then you've broken your sword. And
right, but you
one of your stabs. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you're Ron here, you just play the surprise plunder as a 2/1, then play your golem.
I like that. I don't think the aggro rogue is going to have a board past this point.
Yeah, and this also sets up a decent chunk of damage on board. And you're at 20, your opponent only has 8 damage presenting, and most of their hand costs 1 more. I don't think the aggro rogue can win this turn, and I think Ron definitely can.
No, it can't, but Ron is out of cards, right? If you Penflinger Paralytic Poison, there's only 4 damage represented, so Ron will need the deal 4 to win this game, I think. Interesting. Not going to deal with the... Trying to get lethal this turn, I guess. Seems very hard.
That... Not quite going to do it, but that is a lot of damage.
It's a lot, but on 4 mana, it's not possible.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess even double Sinister
Wicked Stab is not enough. So I think that there are some questions to ask about. Maybe if you hit a deadly... I don't think you can play the Penflinger. What if you play Deadly Poison? You draw into the double Sinister Wicked Stab. I think that was the only way you could get enough damage. Because as things... Oh.
It's exactly 1 off. Oh,
yeah.
Man.
Yeah. He needed Deadly Poison instead of the Penflinger there. So I don't think you can... I think it was a mistake to play the Penflinger first.
I'm not sure. I think if you hit the second prep there, you would have still had it with Penflinger.
Okay. That second prep would have worked. You're right.
Yeah.
So that brings That brings Ron tied.
Yeah. Now 1-1, although
1-1. It's an uphill battle with the Demon Hunter for sure.
Although maybe if Ron plays another watch post on 2 and increases 9 or 10 cards by 1 mana, he might have a chance.
Right.
We have our first casualty. So we have Lefty and Kel defeating Snake and Passed Away. So Lefty's gone into the second round. Lefty and Kel, I should say.
Congrats to Lefty.
Yeah.
This ends now.
I'm sure Ron is happy to see Battle Fiend and Ogremancer in the mulligan. Two of the probably best cards you could ever hope for. The Wandmaker's less appealing with the Battle Fiend turn 1. I might just want to look for Eldrachi Warblades.
Yeah, I think I'd agree there.
As for Rogue, these are cards you do not want. I can't imagine you want to see any of these three. Is that a full keep?
Yeah, Ron for a full keep.
Interesting.
I guess I don't hate it, but
No, I
there's
think
better options.
Wandmaker's fine. It just feels clunky with the Battle Fiend turn 1. That's my biggest gripe, I think. The Eldari's probably good. It's a really good turn 4 because there's so many good 4-drops that are, if they're outcasted, there's a lot of really good 4-drops.
Another quick update. We have Berserk beating Berserk and Rescue Abbott defeating Light and Noodles. And we have
I grow
Aviously
impatient.
and Lotus Knight defeating Roadrunner and MMW.
The
I don't
winner
think
of-
either of those are a huge shock based on how good we know Avi and Berserk to be.
Yep.
Still disappointing. My Washu boys didn't make it. But
the winner of this match is going to then go against, obviously, in Lotus Knight.
Looks like Avi's piloting instead of Lotus, so we'll have to change that.
this is a very upsetting hand for Nails.
Yeah.
He cannot be happy about this. He did not hit a weapon turn 3. He just wanted any weapon, I think.
Yeah, with 4 different weapons in the deck, I don't remember the exact number, but it's above like 75%.
Right. And at this point, you can play this Ogremancer. It's not going to die to a weapon, and there's just going to be 2/2s in the way. I'm not sure how you do that.
This passage also doesn't hit a weapon. Oh man.
This is very bad. I think you just coined the Ogremancer here, and it's almost game over for Nails. He just did not hit what his deck needs to do in the early game.
Yeah, I'd be surprised to see something that isn't coined.
Yeah, I think it would. Yeah, I mean, this is how you win as a control deck against Rogue. If you get this Ogremancer down, and there's no answer, there won't be one.
I don't know if there's any 1-mana spells that
I'm going to see Cult Neophyte and Prize Plunderer on the Ogremancer or the 2/3. I think you just have to try and kill it with Prize Plunderer and minions somehow. But there's this Warglaives here, which I think I would probably use to protect the Ogremancer.
Yeah, Warglaives full clear here.
I think I might use a minion, the 2/3 on one of these. Either the 2/1 or the 2/2, just to well, I guess you don't need the charge that badly on the Warglaives because you want to start Eldrachi to heal.
Interesting. Goes for Mana Feeder instead.
I'm just disappointed that this doesn't protect the Ogremancer as much as we could.
Yeah, well, I assume
don't-
we'll
I
probably
really-
see.
I don't want to see this Ogremancer go into a 3/2. That really bothers me.
Yeah, because it can be cleared off by...
If the Ogremancer's at 5 health, I don't think there's a way Nails can ever get through it. But at this point, he only makes 1 2/2. You just Penflinger, Deadly Poison Penflinger, and it's gone.
I guess if you really don't want those taunts, yeah, it looks like Nails is going to swing first. Just give 0 taunts for Ron.
This is bad.
I'm not sure if it's that bad, though.
Okay, somehow there's still not a weapon. There's all 4 weapons are bottom 13.
And we also see the Penflinger stranded on board.
With all 4 weapons bottom 13, there may not... we take a 1-mana golem, right? Just for try and get the buff, and we can hero power this 1/1.
It doesn't tell us which one he picked until afterwards. So I'm expecting to see a 1-mana 1/1 that summons a copy. Okay.
2/5/5 taunts is pretty good.
Yeah. So that makes up for a dead.
There's the sword finally. It can get very big very quickly here. I think Nails can actually set up a lethal. The greater golem will probably get in the way of that, but he can make an effort to set up a lethal at least.
It's going to be 4
You can
attacks
imagine how
this
many
turn.
2/2s there'd be here.
It's like considering whether or not to play this relief poison. You could also attack and then cutting class for 0. I'm guessing that's the other consideration. Yeah, looks like that's going to be what Nails goes for.
Yeah, the Silverleaf was it's basically just a card. And it doesn't even have a damage buff on it. I guess the cost is too steep here.
I do wonder, do you play the Golem this turn, or do you play Eldrachi and try and set up a lethal next turn?
I think you can die if you play Eldrachi. It's only 3 health. 20.
20, looking at a 5 attack.
It's close. I think you're pretty safe.
Yeah, it goes for the taunt instead, though. The probably safer line, although it might end up giving the Rogue an extra.
Well, Rogue doesn't have healing. It has to hit this 5/5. I think it's dead.
I think the Rogue can clear off enough damage that they aren't dead, but...
Well, if these Wicked Stabs are going into minions...
Yeah,
I don't know how you come back from that. This, you can buy a turn, but then you don't set up lethal, and then this Eldari kills you, right?
Mhm. It's the play where you don't die, but it's not the play where you win.
There is 1 Sinister Strike left in deck for damage.
Yeah.
Price Plunder is a very good pickup here. I don't think it does 5. Does it do? It shouldn't do 5, right?
It's going to do 6.
Oh, wow. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
And Ron only has 7 damage. I don't think this is lethal, right?
It's not. Wizard can't hit face because you can't attack face.
There's no weapon.
I don't know what studies can give you.
Eye beam?
Give you card draw.
Okay, Sigil Runner. That's okay. It gives us another.
Spectral Sight for more.
We don't. This mill's a card. We don't even have hand space.
Play Eldrachi and then play Spectral Sight. I believe Fury is lethal here. Going for second studies instead. Crimson Sigil Runner.
That's. There's no room.
Ah,
Man, if we had protected the Ogremancer, I think this was locked. This is sad. I thought for sure there's just no way without a weapon until turn 7 that you lose this, but then it happened.
I also think if we played the weapon last turn, as opposed to setting up the taunt, there might have still been enough damage from the rogue.
I think you just died. Because there was the taunt ended up soaking 5 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. I think definitely showing the power of that rogue, just being able to even not finding a weapon for a while, stack buffs up and kill your opponent.
Right, and I think Nails pretty much took the optimal lines with the hand he was dealt.
Hopping now with Bill Snyder versus Jester.
Sorry, should set the tone for the next round there. So we'll jump in with Bill Snyder first. See where they are.
Yeah, it looks like right now Bill Snyder's up 1-0.
Okay.
Jester.
Jester will be on top with Bill Snyder at the bottom of your screen. So
Priest versus Mage. This is what the Mage wanted to see.
We do see Ogre on board for the Priest. Not for long. Mage can even commencement and get their own Ogre, and then Psyche split it.
This is bad. Ogremancer is a very good card against both Priest and Mage. So I don't know. Bill's going to have a tough time dealing with it here. He could play the Hysteria and clear everything. Yeah, if you run the 3-4 and the 2-2 in and then Hysteria, it should be a full clear. I'm sure he's not happy about it, but it's not the end of the world.
Yogg is only 3 spells off. They could get set up to play Yogg on 10 if they want to.
For some reason, I cannot see Jester's hands. We needed to trade the 3-4.
Yeah.
What was up with that?
I don't know. Maybe this can.
Yeah.
Oh, because now the maid.
Now I don't know. What are we doing? Now we just give him a bunch of. Oh no!
Oh, another Hysteria. Wait, we're saved. We can Hysteria it. Oh. Well, we could have.
Oh god. This is bad. This is bad.
Oh, Libram of Hope plus Vivid Spores? That. Yeah.
Yeah, this seems like a lethal setup from Jester here.
Yeah. And we're a turn off of Yogging, so I don't really see an answer for the priest.
I'm not sure how Yogg even dealt with this. It'd have to be Rod of Roasting or a bunch of random spells, like 2 Twisting Others.
Hysteria, and then we can Samuro Apo.
It does heal quite a bit here.
Yeah, we're not dead on board anymore, but still not in the best position.
Not you.
It is going to come down to Yogg to save him.
Interesting. I don't know what happened earlier this game, but I'm wondering where this devolving missiles came from.
Right, did he just draw that? And there must have been a glide, right?
Yeah, okay, yeah, because this runic carving is also full cost. I guess there must have been a glide.
It must get, so it does the discounts get when it shuffles into deck, it reduces any discounting, right? Because that's the order of that. So yeah, it must have been a 3-mana runic carvings deck. When it got shuffled back, it became a 6-mana one. Although I'm not sure how the mage got a. Why would they glide their own 3-mana runic carvings back?
Maybe there's an Elutia played? I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe there's an Elutia. This is interesting.
Time runs out on me.
That's priest.
I think if you're the mage, you probably make 4 2/2s. You know, your opponent doesn't have Samuro plus Apo anymore, and even if they board clear, you've still got quite a few threats left. Decided to hold it.
Yeah, we just ripped this Yogg. Stealing 2 minions is kind of insane. If we can get that one. Well, Devolving Missiles just got played.
Oh man, this feat of strength, though.
This is a very good Apotheosis target.
Although, if you Lemur of Hope here, the Apotheosis won't be able to heal because there will still be a shield up.
It won't, unless you get a Smite or something.
Mm-hmm. You have to then not play the Fell Guardians, though. You play Fell Guardians. Just attack one of those.
There already has been an Apotheosis played, so we'll see how much they have respect for the second one.
Yeah. I mean, it is a situation of, by playing Fell Guardians, you give yourself any additional chances, as opposed to taking away the option of your opponent having Apo.
If you play Fell Guardians, you're better against like a death or something.
Time runs out on me.
Although probably the runic carvings alone is good enough here
And
to win the game.
Isn't Shadow or Death in the priest deck? Although of course there's renews and.
There, you're right. I thought for sure there would be a Shadow or Death in here, but there's not.
But there's a renew, so I guess they hit a death or another spell here. This is a very different game.
Smite. There's the Smite.
There's Smite.
You could take the Shadow form, but I think it seems worse.
I do like healing back up to 30 though.
Well played.
An Ogremancer is going to demand a full trade from these tutus.
You could trade
Oh wait, they're totems.
They are totems. Wow.
We could even we could kill the Yogg, right? If you full trade, and then you runic carvings for rush and copy one of the rush. I don't know if you want to do that with the ogre though. The ogre might give too many things. Yeah, that would be too many spells.
Yeah.
I think you start with full trading the ogre, and then you can do the runic carvings play.
Now they're gonna trade into the Yogg, it looks like.
They went for the okay. So they're doing the rush play. This still kills it.
They can still do the Yogg, yeah.
Yeah, they just have to run both of the two of the smaller ones in. And then they're
Trade
killing the
bang.
Yogg. They're worried about the Yogg more than the Ogremancer because it has lifesteal.
I'd definitely be a little more scared of a 20 attack minion.
Yeah, I understand that. The Ogremancer just gives, when you're all spells, it's kind of a big deal. Eye of Cthulhu is pretty good. I think you want to get rid of these so you don't get hit with Survival of the Fittest.
I think you probably trade the ogre into one of them first to chance full clear from eye.
Your chance of clearing might be higher if you missiles first, because then you get to trade one of them if it lives. Because that puts more damage into the
Yeah.
taunts, right?
Okay, did you decide to trade first?
I'm sure you could run a calculator to see the math on that. I think it's missiles first is better.
Yeah, because then it probably lets you. I think so. I don't know. I can't now, but maybe. Quite the cards you want to see if you're the mage right now.
Yeah, Blessing of Kings is not good after you just lost your board. I wonder if it was ever right just to hang on to those Fell Guardians, because you can draw like a buff later, right? Like survival. They just don't do much into the Ogremancer. Oh, and this is devastating. I think you just rip it here. You know there's cards he doesn't want to play.
Do we know which Cthulhu pieces have been played?
We don't, but I don't know that you need the Cthulhu pieces.
I think like the punish is if your opponent top decks
Time-
Law of Cthulhu,
Yeah, the rip.
then but otherwise it's very good. Yeah, that's not it.
That's very bad. I mean, you probably play it. It should summon and kill the thing.
Ping the ogre and hope you draw an answer to it next turn.
I don't even want to play that, really. It's already big enough, you know?
Yeah, it's the same clock either way.
I guess it survives in a Grand Slam. Or it doesn't survive it, but
Your
I mean,
opponent can't.
it's not going to die. It's in the Grand Slam if you play.
If they had Legions of Hope, there's no Grand Slams in deck.
Hmm. You're right, I forgot about that. I think things were double discounted or something.
Sure.
Pride's Fury.
And the mage needs to really hope this next. Yeah, it's not gonna.
That's
do
not it. Does not kill an ogre.
I believe that's gonna be a 2-0 for Bill Snyder.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
We've got the Lightning Storm. Now always deals 3.
Yeah.
So, 2-2. And we see the Self Pang.
Oh,
Do it,
Desperate
Bill. Do
Prayer
it.
first.
Good job.
Yeah. You could have even healed your opponent's face. And then
Yes.
ogre.
Get that top quality Priest VM. That's why you play Priest, right?
Of course.
For the VM, not any other reasons.
It's gonna be a win for Jester. Or that's gonna be a win for
A
Bill
win for
Snyder,
Bill
I
and
guess.
CMAC,
Bill.
yeah.
Yep. So
And that was the last match of this round. So they're going to be facing up against Negibot.
yeah, so I'm hoping we can actually jump in with Lefty and Fogate Shade. Fogate? Whatever. If you guys want to jump in that one, we can do that. That's in the
yeah.
second round right now. We can do the Neji one after that match.
We're just flying through this.
Yeah.
Also, it seems like Ron is free if we'd like to join him in, or I don't know. how the schedule's working here, but
Yeah.
oh,
It's going
I'll
quicker.
let you decide that one.
Yeah, we'll just jump in with lefty versus who's he going up here?
Let's
Fog
see.
8,
It's
Foggy 8.
Yeah.
Fog high 8.
I grow impatient.
We're hopping in with
And another
Demon Hunter versus
Ogremancer against Rogue. We saw the power of this card last time in the matchup,
What makes something
but less good into Jandis than it is into Weapon Rogue.
Yeah. Those aren't the best hits off Jan.
And Throglave's actually, wow, and Throgglaive with the 2-2 is pretty good. Although he's trading the 2-1 into it.
Okay. So
So if I was playing here, I would make the 4-5 fake, but we'll see. You could this Throgglaive hitting the right target is kind of a big deal.
Yeah. The issue is you can't, of course, test Ogre first because. Well, maybe you test with the I-beam, because then you're I-beam Throglaving one thing and Throglaving the other. And if you guess wrong, you can.
It hurts a little bit less, I think. Although maybe you do test with the Throgglaive because then you can hero power the other one. It's not that much worse than the Throgglaive on it. And if you actually Throgglaive the wrong one, you could hero power, and then you could play this Mana Feeder Panther.
Grows short.
Okay, this is fine. You just I-beam hero power Panther in this case.
I think you hero power first to get an extra healing.
Right. Oh,
Or
this is fake. We're not killing it?
I guess not.
I have some questions.
That. Yeah. I think this one's a lot easier to figure out which one the fake one is.
Now our Ogremancer might die.
puzzle their magic?
Yeah, I mean, this was pretty avoidable.
Bladed Lady seems to line up pretty well into this 5-6. And we can trade our 2-2 into the 3-5 and the 2-2.
Right, but it could be fake easily. I would probably make that fake here. I think the mind games get people a lot, so I make I make them fake a lot. Looks like they picked a 5 since they're deal 3 to 2 random enemy minions, and +2/+2.
Mhm.
Which means they're probably looking at hero power. Put the 2-2 into the 3-5. Just see what. Make sure. I don't like this because this one you get punished pretty hard if it's real. With the 2-2, it's a little bit less punishing, I think.
I think there it's probably a decent fair assumption the 5-6 is real.
It's the better one, right? But it's not always a guarantee, especially against a deck without any AoE cards. I don't know, here I am telling everyone how to play against me. Because I picked the bad minions to be the real ones.
Another 5 mana summon a copy. This one has Divine Shield instead of Rush on it.
I'm making notes, Chuck. Thanks.
I think they had the option for deal 3 here. Deal 3 might have been very good on this golem.
Interesting. The Ulgra Mancrick's wife shows us 4 mana.
Right.
spell because we've drawn off that far watch post. Doesn't make a difference, but fun interactions.
Refresh here to see if any other games get finished. Yep. So.
Played
Did we
this-
not want to see what the golem
Yeah.
hits first? Before the I-beam? It can hit the same minion twice. I saw this earlier today. Yeah.
Yeah, it did. That watch post. I think. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about the order there.
This is quite bad because this 5/5s are not going to be removed with the Demon Hunter's current toolkit. So maybe we try to hit a skull here and then set up lethal somehow with this Ildari next turn.
Yeah, I think.
I think the Ildari has to get played first because this Panther may draw something that we can't use.
Vile Fiend seems like the best option out of these, although it's not great.
We
I
could
don't
pick
think-
the I-beam and just play a Bladed Lady and not attack with it. Make him trade. Because the Bladed Lady is 6, so with the hero power on the Eldari, it would be lethal.
Okay. Vile Fiend.
I love
I
to-
assume we're gonna see Vile Fiend.
Alphine's also 6 damage, sure. So I guess it's fine. The 5/5s probably do not want to be trading. I feel like the 6/6 was almost better, though, because it forced both of the 5/5s to go into it, unless there's a pen flinger. I'm not sure if there's a... Is there a pen
an
flinger?
Og Merchant in hand.
Okay.
Focus
So that would have
that.
worked. I can't see Foshi's hand, so that would have worked out worse.
That's an upgrade. Probably.
Playing out the Og Merchant in the secret passage.
Quiet. Too quiet.
Not the
Dazzle their
best,
magic.
but can draw a few more cards. Was Pen Flinger might end up spending it just for that card draw.
So at least the 5/4 and another minion has to be removed here, or it's lethal to the 8/8. I think you have to keep that in mind. So we're killing the 2/3 and the 5/4.
Yeah, because it's still.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels bad to have to trade because this 8/8's coming down anyways, and
It definitely does.
killing off a 5/5 and hitting you in the face for 8.
Well, I think you're still playing it here.
Mhm.
You're not dead on the backswing. 10, 15. I mean, there's a lot of damage on board.
I grow.
But we get to rush out one of these 5/5s with the Eldari, so it might be okay.
Yeah, I think we might have to trade into the field contact.
I think so.
There's only 12 on board then, and we're hitting our opponent in the face for 9. Any other damage is lethal for us next turn.
Right, putting him down, that would mean the 4-mana immunity spell, or the even if we have a 4-mana Twin Slice now, because it's turn 10 next turn. I don't think there's any option besides the Eldari here.
Well,
I'm not happy about this.
Lexi decided to not play the Illidari. Yeah, I think playing the Illidari was a lot better than just getting rid of one of the pen flingers.
Right, and you just get
guys.
this Oh, hey, welcome, Ron. Welcome.
Got
We are-
Ron.
You can bring your Demon Hunter expertise here.
I mean, my throwing expertise.
Oh, it's okay.
So, all right, Lefty
We've-
and Kel versus Fogey, and who's the other partner for Fogey?
Fogey's got
Grudge Bearer,
yep, Grudge
Grudge
Bearer.
Bear.
someone I am not
Nice.
familiar with personally.
So the 8 is just to throw people off, Fogey. Just pronounce Fogey.
Can we see Fogey's cards or no?
I
Um,
tried to ask him
I-
as a friend. But
Nice Jewish
I
Owl was able to.
think
He can fill us in.
The last card in his hand is an efficient Octobot.
okay.
Not
Spicy.
powerful in this situation.
Do you want to message Fogey and just let him know to accept my? Let me get a minute.
Yeah, after
Yep.
this game.
Yeah, it's
So,
because
yeah,
Lefty's
'cause
up
it'll
one
be
game
tied.
right now. So
I mean, with perfect information, they would not be dead, and they can take the Illidari trade into the Ogre Mancer and play Chaos Strike here. Might just be the only play.
Would it be better to just kill the 5/5 and hero power your opponent's face?
I don't know. We've seen both of the Wicked Stabs, so I don't know that there's a lot of breakpoint damage. There's
But any spell kills you, because it's one off if you take the Ogre Mancer play.
Humans.
Yeah, but how do we get? We're gonna need. I guess you have this. You can kill the
5/5 and hero power.
Bladed Lady to kill the taunts.
Yeah, I think killing the 5/5 is like the better option.
Just take a little bit more damage off the board and say you're going to need more to kill me. Kill the 5/5 hero power, go face, send a bunch of damage.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
at
don't
this
play the
point,
Chaos Strike.
I think it's the only play. You can't hero power the Penflinger.
They last turn they decided to hero power Penflinger rather than playing this 8/8, and it didn't seem like it worked out super well.
Rogue
What's the top
Druid
deck?
Field contact. Not gonna do much here.
It would not have been lethal. Oh no.
Yeah, you had to trade in this 3/2.
Quiet. Efficient is sufficient.
Oh, but this might be a board lock.
There's still two
No.
spots open for
Yeah,
taunts,
2 spots. If there'd only been one taunt, it may have been pretty. Oh, that would have been game, right?
I
If
would
they had
want
killed
it
the Ogre
back
Mancer, it would be
off.
lethal.
For being able to play this Bladed Lady as well.
Yeah, this is a rough spot to be in if you're Lefty and Kel. You might just have to go Bladed Lady and
Can we get
Warblades.
the Wand Maker into the new Twin Slice? Because that allows you to play Bladed Lady.
Yeah, that would be.
That would be
But
lethal.
you give them 2 taunts, right? Because
No, you only play one spell, right?
Humans.
You play the Twin Slice from the Wand Maker, the Eldrachi,
Oh.
and the Bladed Lady.
yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Yes.
7, 8, 9, 10. You have exact mana for it.
Chaos Strike into second Illidari is also lethal here.
Do you go for the lethal, or do you say my opponent has no cards? I can just play Bladed and Eldrachi, and I can clear a 3/2, and I can set up lethal for next turn
Yeah,
or
this is
something.
probably better. Just
Yeah.
kill the 1/4 maybe.
Well,
I
you
can
just
kill
kill the
Kill
3/2.
the 3/2. I think
Yeah.
you killed the Penflinger here. Yeah. 5
And now,
damage on
you
your
know,
opponent's
the
top
only
deck
way that
of-
Well, the
6/3
6/3
dies is the Ogre traits.
Mancer. I didn't like that. I wanted to hit it into something else and hit the 3/2 with her face. Maybe I'm crazy.
What's the card in
Rogue
hand?
is holding a Wand Thief.
Wow, this is a nail biter.
Oh.
Oh,
We could just hit the Ogre Mancer and play that.
We're not winning this turn though, so there's
No, we're
still
not, but
potential.
The next turn you find something. We have to. The Ogre Mancer is going to beat us if we don't get rid of it.
Is there another Bladed Lady in the deck?
No, both have been played.
Okay.
Humans.
You could play Wand Maker and look for something, but I don't know what the something is.
I don't know what you hit there. I think
We can take 3, right? if you hero power, you're still at 5. We've seen both of the strikes. The pen flinger's gone.
Yeah.
I think we just kill the Ogremancer and Skull.
What a
Yeah.
game.
Yeah,
I
there's
agree.
No, other than
Oh, don't leave. Yes.
we can't Chaos Strike here. I think you have to just hero power into this ogre and then skull.
I don't like how we're roping out now. That's not good. If we wanted to play the Skull.
They're doing
yeah,
the play.
to go for it.
Okay.
And
Animations better hurry up. It's a Battle Fiend, a Skull, a Studies. That's pretty rough. Not
Alright.
what you'd love to see here. Oh, they got the Studies off.
They got the... Oh, that's good.
Ganar.
That's
That's a
lethal.
potential lethal right here with Ganar.
Alright. It's gonna depend on what this Wand Thief.
Yeah, it's all down to the Wand Thief. Here we go.
Deep freeze?
All right, what are the options?
Fireball.
Map Freeze, Shooting Star, or Arcane Intellect. Yeah, Arcane Intellect.
Yeah, wow,
Oh,
that's rough,
wow.
but
Og
they
Merchant.
draw. I
What
mean,
are
they're
the
about
last
to start
cards?
burning. Are there outs?
They have Mancrick and Og Merchant in hand right now.
Oh,
lethal.
no.
If they can draw a card, right? It's no, but it's
Can't
dog.
draw a card.
Oh,
It
wow,
is-
that was close.
What a game.
Interesting foe.
Is there anything that we can't trigger this Outcast?
I mean, the only thing is probably the 8 guy, right?
Yeah.
So that's lethal anyway.
Yeah, it's lethal.
Yeah.
You just play the Watch Post first, so you always
I
Outcast
mean,
it.
the only way you don't have lethal here is if you like lead chaos.
Yeah.
or something.
Fresh spells.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Out of the kill.
It would have still been lethal.
Yeah.
Lefty and Cal.
Lead chaos strike just to be still lethal.
Yeah, that
That was a nail biter.
I didn't think the TH was gonna make it, and then I thought they would make it, and then didn't think again. But
What a series.
I think
This
that
is 1-0.
No, it's
No?
it's
That
done.
was game
Lefty
2.
lefty won. 2-0. Hockey partner. Lefty moves
Oh,
on
wow.
and waits for the winner of Bill Snyder and Neji Boston, who were next. The other 2 games, just to briefly flash over it, Aviously and Loaded Night lost to Nails and Lumble 2-0, and Berserk beat and Rescue Wabbit defeated Slod and Sunday. So they're waiting. Nails and Berserk are probably playing right now and head to Neji Boston.
Okay.
So see how those guys are doing. So Bill Snyder's gonna be at the bottom of the screen with top.
Priest versus Hunter. I believe this is pretty Priest favored. Just with the amount of healing they have, I don't think the Hunter can just burn him down. Looks like
That is a
Neji has a pretty lackluster board at this stage in the game.
well, that's only
cheaper,
turn
massive taunt
3.
in Bill
It's only
Snyder's
turn 3.
hand, too.
And
I think Neji would have been happier to have like a 3-2 right now, which would not be unreasonable.
although this hatchet isn't awful.
No, but I think a hatchet is worse than a minion right now, I would say.
Wait.
This condemn is going to be brutal on turn 5.
Engine.
It should clear up pretty much everything, I think. Although we might see a Hysteria on a Rhino, which is not ideal. Something that could happen.
I wonder if Neji's going for like the wide board plan right now.
I think the pack leader comes down, probably with the demonic studies, but
The
maybe
debate
point
would
out
be-
the minion as well.
Yeah, the debate would be if you play Initiate, Coin, and Demon Companion because you have the rifle in hand. It looks like that's what they're going for. So full board, get to swing damage. Maybe you don't have to equip the rifle on turn 4, but
Well,
it's
we said
fine.
the condemn on turn 5 was going to be brutal. I think we might have.
I think it's pretty good here. Yeah.
It's real good on turn 4 as
Yeah,
well.
You palm reading first. 'cause you can
Hysteria's
still-
not bad either. Hysteria kind of does everything. I think you do start with the palm reading.
Yeah, because then you probably just condemn and then Holy Smite the pack runner.
Hysteria. How bad is Hysteria on the pack runner? It might be good enough because Hysteria is a tough card to use once they start playing Rhinos.
It's potentially disastrous though if it goes straight into the 3/2 and you just leave up all this
Yeah, well,
damage.
it's gonna leave
Well-
up 6 power, I believe, unless you get.
It
Very
would.
lucky.
It's tough that would all die to the condemn the next turn. I like the initiation the most.
Yeah, I don't hate Wave of Apathy here, but I think Initiation might be a little better. Just looking into the future.
I think it could help you get onto the board.
Ooh, good to know. Neji has the 1-0 lead in the series.
Neji also has Mage, so that's not a good sign for Bill's team because they were trying to beat Mage.
Yeah, so Mage getting through means
Although,
Hunter just has to pick up a win here or in the next one if they can't get through.
is Soul Demon Hunter, which isn't horrible against.
Against Face Hunter?
Yeah.
Maybe not. Do we see an initiation here? Just because it's clunky. It's not great into the Rhino, but then you can Psych split the Rhino and kill it. I think with that in mind, I actually like the initiation because the natural turn 5 is the Rhino.
Initiation Desperate Prayer play. I don't hate it. To buff your own stolen initiate as well.
Mm-hmm.
Neji
They do not
opting
like
for
playing the
no
Rhino here.
Rhino.
I'm surprised by that. I don't know that the Rhino has a lot of great opportunities to shine.
I feel like you wanted to get that down on curve rather than the secret, but Neji opting for the secret, probably wanting to get the minion out too. And then this is an awkward curve for the Rhino on 6.
I think you pick Snakes.
Is that a freezing pick?
Freezing Trap. Freezing makes sense. I like that. I don't think this is going
Dragon
to be
gets even cheaper. Honestly, the dragon can lock out the game. Or you could just get a
I think just take the
faster.
taunt that kills. The 5/4 is going to run into it and die probably. That seems very strong.
I will say though, if we're able to play a Blackwing next turn and then Psyche split it, that's pretty good.
Right. But I think we just want to get to Sleepy Dragon, right? Sleepy Dragon.
I love your greed.
Yeah.
Well, I'm also thinking
Sounds like a warrior
The board
player.
clears.
I love it.
if we then put an Apotheosis on our runaway Blackwing, we just win.
Hear me out. Hear me out. We run Rattlegore in this deck. What? We can't? Why are we playing this?
Well, you run Brightwing and it's the same thing.
Right.
Smart.
They did go for the Blackwing.
Going with the Alusha.
This is,
That's
well, I guess they're going to lose their Hysteria, which is a bummer.
And this would be the reasoning maybe why Neji didn't play the Rhino last turn, specifically to counter Alusha, holding 2 other cheaper cards. Although, I mean, they couldn't steal the rifle either with the mana that they had. But maybe just didn't want that 1/3 getting taken.
soon we're gonna see the
Psych
Hysteria
split
and the
Hysteria
Psyche split.
seems insane.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I'm not sure. You need a Soul Mirror to come back from that, right?
I dig
You're
it.
just dead. I think they're just taking a screenshot of the priest hand.
Makes sense. Priest gives you their cards. Make sure you know what all of them are.
Attack with this 1/3 first, then you Hysteria Illusion. And then Psyche split your 5/4. Or no, you should Psyche split and then Hysteria.
Yeah.
This is
I feel like
slightly worse, I
Split was
think.
better to lead.
Maybe they wanted the they don't want the Sunscale Raptor in their deck, right? Or in the priest deck. I guess it's pretty good in the priest deck. What did they? That was a pretty quick secret choice.
That looked like explosive, but I couldn't track it fast enough. It's pack.
Do we just have to play the Blackwing and start killing these?
Pack's a good choice.
Think so. Actually, if we
I
play
just-
the Sleepy, they
I
take
don't-
them both in, and then Heart of Cthulhu's a clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, Neji does have perfect information that Heart of Cthulhu is in hand.
I think they could have thought about that a bit longer. It should work out. But I think the Elusia put them really far behind.
This is going to be trade the Raptor, trade the 6/5, and then trade the Rhino and push 6 face and press the button? Or do they want to actually play this adorable? I mean, the
I think
minion
you-
summon just dies.
Yeah, you know Heart's coming next turn. It's better to just button, because then
I think
you're
so.
one off lethal next turn.
I think it has to be hero power here.
And you know they're trying to connect the 6 face.
Mhm.
Pretty sure the outcome they'll decide on is button and trade everything. Oh, nope, I'm wrong. Maybe they want to force the Heart of Cthulhu play instead of Runaway Blackwing? I don't know. Because you don't really get to do much else with your mana,
Yeah,
and they
I mean,
still keep a 6/5. That means they're 1 off lethal.
Well,
yeah, you still have to Heart of Cthulhu.
Well, 3 off lethal, because Priest probably presses button.
yeah, I think we're playing the hero power return. It might come down to this runaway Blackwing, whether it hits a 6/3 or 6/2 or a 1/1. It's not great.
Don't know if Bill Snyder's going to be even afforded the opportunity to play Runaway Blackwing ever.
Well, he might have to go for it to kill the 6/2 here.
Do you just
Oh,
YOLO take a
that might
50-50?
be-
Well, that's huge.
That might be enough.
That
it is.
it
That's
is
enough.
enough.
It's
Yeah,
enough.
that is lethal.
Ordering was still good. You know, make sure you play the minion first so that actually draws you cards, but that was top deck lethal. Seems good. Neji
Yeah.
advances. Neji and Desharmo on to the next round.
I do wonder if we just played that 4/5, how does that game change instead of the Elusia?
Yeah, I like to just grab taunt, play taunt.
Yeah, that was a pivotal turn where they played Elusia and nothing else. I think that'd be my question mark.
We're down to the semifinals of the tournament. We have Nails versus Berserk and Neji Boston versus Lefty.
Oh,
Powerful
looks like we got
teams.
some other casters waiting in the wings here too.
Okay. Well, should I head out?
Well, you guys,
I mean, let's just wait till we hear communication from the
Okay.
others. Nobody's getting kicked out.
Wait until the other ones hop in.
We got to have a welcoming party for when new people join. It's fun. So, interesting match we've come in on between Berserk and Nails. Do we know what the score is so far?
I'm just gonna ask Nails right now. Just
Looks like it's 1-0 for Berserk, according to Battle.
okay.
Mage versus Weapon Rogue. Mage is not in a good place, it seems.
Well, they have a water elemental.
They do. The freezing is going to be impactful,
And-
but
Their opponent is also
yeah, also at the verge of
four.
death. Yeah.
and you have a Mask of Cthulhu in hand. I don't know. I
Yeah.
think the Mage might be winning this one.
I did miss the freeze. The freeze is kind of a big deal here.
Freeze
Uh,
is everything at this stage of the game. I don't see any way that 7 damage doesn't just go upstairs here.
Yeah, well, I guess if Nails has exactly Swindle into top deck Swindle into Penflinger plus Wicked Stab, that would be lethal still.
There's a lot of very cheap.
They're
damage
only
in
6
Nails'
off
hand.
lethal, yeah. Alright, just going for the damage play, and the top deck
That is
not
not
it.
lethal.
not
Oh, there's
helpful.
a life tap. There's a life
There's
tap
still,
right
yeah,
now.
there's still a 0
Wait.
mana tap. You press the button, you dig.
Wait,
There's a
the
swindle.
Oh wow. Oh my god. This is nuts.
It took me entirely too long to notice. Oh, there it is. That's
They
4.
actually
That's
just
it.
find lethal.
That's
They
it.
actually just found the lethal. Oh wow.
I called it. Swindle into pen player
Oh,
plus
wow.
Wicked Stack.
Yeah,
Life
nice
tap.
call. Wow,
Somehow.
that's dirty.
That is going to even out the series.
What? I mean, Nails has been playing in some really close ones.
Yeah.
Just get into their teeth. Nice job to Nails and Lumble picking up that miraculous win. 0 mana life tap to go down to 1 to find the lethal.
Yeah.
And we're on to the best words in all of Hearthstone once again. Here we go. Mage
Game
vs. Mage,
three.
it's game 3.
The best words were game 5.
Was.
We
yeah.
have to modify it for
We have
best
to make
threes.
So normally I'm a fan of just keeping your 2 mana cards in Mage, but the Font of Power. Oh wow, double. That was a very different philosophy on the keeps here.
Oh, well, I think Berserk kind of got rewarded though.
I think so too. The 2-drops are a big deal, and Nails us these 2 draw engines without any discounts.
I think
I think Font of Power on 1 is very good in the Mage Mirrors because
So
you
you
don't
always
have a
wanna
lot of minions.
flow first to get the. Nope.
No,
Nope.
not in Mage.
Berserk wants this in a Grand Slam.
I feel like
think-
maybe in a Mage Mirror you want to counter their burn with Libram of Hopes, but guess
Trick
not. I mean, they're
Totem
already holding
once.
one of the 7 mana cards anyway.
That's a
So
pretty
there's
good
less
trick
hopes.
totem.
I think that Mage is squishy, so let's kill them. Is my opinion on this matchup.
I trust the Mage Specialist. Fair.
Want to welcome Corden 2 to the group. Who just joined us.
Welcome.
Hey, welcome
Greetings.
Corden.
And we got Geranium Battle joining us as well.
Hey, now it's a party.
It's a party in here.
The maximum possible number of people.
We just need 6 more. And we're good.
Hey, I can quick pull the Discord and get 6 more people quick. We
Be right back.
Oh! Trick Totem
what's
casting
the max?
Cancer's Flow?
That's
Whoa!
kind of insane. Does that might bring Mage back into this? That's a huge discount,
Yeah, that
especially
is
with
an
we've got
OP
these
trick totem.
two refreshing spring water next turn.
Berserk
Yeah.
is finally clearing the most threatening minion, Trick Totem, and stopping the madness.
Here comes a Jandis.
Which makes something real.
And an Ogre Mancer.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
if I'm Berserk, I'm feeling pretty bad right now.
I mean, the answer's in hand, but wow, what a roll.
This looks brutal for Berserk.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm in an okay position, but I don't
No, if they hit a good draw here, I think they're in a totally fine place. But they do need a draw. They're a little low on gas.
they need to get spells that aren't as useless as Survival of the Fittest.
I mean, all it takes is a skull off the top, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, skull off the top definitely would change this game up.
especially we've got spell damage now.
Ooh,
Tidal Wave.
Ooh,
That changes the
certainly
game.
brings it back.
I mean, okay. Okay.
All right, yes, we pressed the reset button on the board. I'll heal
With the
back
spell
up to
damage up, too.
the board.
It's a little unfortunate we lose the
Brace
spell damage,
The
but
Yeah.
shenanigans.
And now Mage has a lot of burn to close out a game, but no minions.
if
And
Raytos gets a counter
Berserk's
here,
at 30.
it shuts off
Counterspell's very good.
half of Berserk's hand.
Just so many ways to go for nails here.
Well, this turn may end up being like nails on a chalkboard for Berserk.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, it's
deciding
gonna.
if draw over. There's so much to do in Nail's hand right now. It just has to kind of filter something down.
I don't know. When I get confused on turns, I usually just hero power pass, but I don't think that's the move here.
Counterspell and oh, these aren't good. Those are like the 3 worst secrets, I think. And the second options.
That's okay because ring tosses skip your
Ooh.
opponent's entire next turn.
Well, in this case, it's milled 2 cards, right?
Yeah.
Not as good. 3 cards.
3, yeah.
It could be that Berserk just doesn't have anything to do, and the ring toss, or it might not ever go off with just pinging his face.
I think we just do the mask and we get this Fel Guardian survival, and that's going to be really hard for Nails. I guess the devolving missiles should take care of it, though.
It's got double combustion as well, I think.
Yeah, it shouldn't. Yeah, with the devolving missiles and the combustions, it shouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah,
You could play the survival of the fittest just into the counterspell. Maybe it's the worst card here.
I think it definitely is because you'd love to be able to utilize it with the Fell Guardians, but I think you're too far behind to tempt that. If your mask gets counterspelled here, ouch.
Yeah, another problem is that the Fel Guardians are probably dying to the combustion on the other side. So I'm not sure that we're going to get a survival of the fittest on them.
I guess if you wait turns, you could try and combo them together. Although I don't know if you can a few turns.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like you're still so far away from being able to do it on the same turn.
Do you play the 0 mana deck? No.
Oh, that's a draw.
Oh,
Well,
That's a
okay.
draw.
Okay.
Never mind.
Yeah,
So you guys just
yeah, I'm
game
pushing
is
Claw in
easy.
the
You
face
just play
here,
in
feels-
Grand Slam. It's
Yeah.
really easy.
Men,
I don't know what
survival.
we're all
What?
we're all
Yeah.
worried about. You just play this card.
Sorry, right. Forgot
think
Grand
I-
Slam. Yeah.
Oh,
The
Flame Strike,
that
though.
well-known mage card.
Wow. Flame Strike
Wow.
pick off the top.
Flame Strike just has to be the play.
Drawing first. We
Yeah,
may see a
first.
triple discount for Nails.
Ooh,
The-
a Mask of the Zone.
The other encounters flow.
And a corrupted ring
toss.
toss.
And another skip your whole turn.
Another counterspell.
Counterspell, yep.
And there. Ice Barrier is better.
Oh, we can't even
Well, you know it's counterspell here.
Yeah, they picked too quickly on that ring toss.
Face
And this
turn.
is almost lethal.
Yeah, I think you just ask. Well, actually, Arcane Intellect could. No, you don't have enough mana to play this stuff, but.
Get some spell damage. There's the free spell damage. Lab partner.
Yep.
Is looking absolutely backbreaking for Berserk. I mean, Flame Strike and Counterspell on the same turn to clear up the threat, block the new development of Survival, and all this burn. It seems very unlikely Berserk can actually win.
Well, there could be another tidal wave, but there wasn't.
Yeah, it's gonna be game.
Yeah.
Berserk just did not get any of his card draw that you normally see with this deck of Lunacy.
Sometimes Lunacy low rolls.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even need it.
Well, I think the Trick Totem casting a Canter's Flow won this game.
Yes. That definitely saved him.
The optimistic ogre. Ogre for BM.
Nails wound up summoning double Ogre in this game too. Props for that.
That's gonna
And the first ogre.
move Nails onto the finals.
Yes.
Wow.
You're telling me.
Is Neji
yeah,
versus
it's fine,
Lefty
it's fine.
still happening?
Looks like it's 1-0 lefty right now. I'm not sure if it's continuously happening though.
trying to make sure I can click on Lefty. Hearthstone's client is very tricky.
Looks like
Jumping
Neji is
around.
playing Mage against Lefty's Demon Hunter.
You don't pick the one.
Very early in the game still.
Yeah, we got Neji on top with Lefty on the bottom for our viewers.
Well, we saw Nails take until turn 10 to kill with his mage, but this Demon Hunter is threatening to do quite a bit earlier than that.
Right, this is a very strong opening for the Demon Hunter. Battle Fiend into Wand Maker. I think this Brain Freeze is not bad to just help deal with this early aggression. Apexis Blast is a very good card, though.
Time runs out on me.
I'm not surprised that they took Apexis Blast, but 2 damage here, another 2 damage here and there, and suddenly you're looking at only 10 health left and in range of just 2 damage plus the Inquisitor.
Oh
That
wow!
was not the optimal evolving missile.
That is the least optimal missiles.
Actually, no, this is the optimal missiles because it leaves us with a tiny fin on board so we can look at its cuteness.
That's true. Best for us. Not so great for Neji.
A lot of times I like to play my Eldari studies the turn I want to use it. So I would probably hold back here. We'll see what Lefty wants to do.
Yeah, usually you use it to look for answers for things when you specifically need them. So it'd be interesting. Yeah, looks like that's what
There's a
what they're
very real
opting to do.
temptation as well to just hold Illidari for exactly turn 6 for Skull also.
I like using it on turn 4 because there's so many good 4-mana minions if you're just trying to pressure.
I mean, it very much depends on the context of the board state in your hand and
Sure.
what else you're trying to do, but yeah, it's an excellent play for turn 4 in a lot of cases.
Another free spell damage minion.
Free spell damage, good. Free, good. We like free.
But
Yeah, I
once
think
again, not taking that Brain Freeze is going to leave very far behind for Neji and getting down to 10 already.
Right, not even dying to the burn damage, just losing on board to the Demon Hunter here. Probably have to coin out this Apexis Blast at least.
Yeah, Demon Hunter's really been able to sustain minion pressure over these first few turns quite nicely.
What a 5-drop, though.
That's a
This
huge
minion,
5-drop.
Very useful.
There is a lot of damage that can come out from the Demon Hunter right now.
Well, there's a Bladed Lady, too.
Yeah.
I think this
Yeah.
Chaos Strike is just such a massive pickup to let you play a 1-mana Bladed Lady. I'm not sure there's another play, but Chaos,
looking like-
Fury, Hero Power, Bladed.
Set them down to 10, kill off the 2/2.
Yeah. Allows you to draw a card, and you have answers for quite a bit.
You can also just have that built-in turn 6 dig for Skull with studies if you want to. The setup is beautiful here for Lefty if they choose it. Lefty and Kel.
My main question is, do we use the I-Beam to kill off the 2/2, or do we swing the 6/6 into it?
Well, you don't
Well,
have the mana for both
yeah.
because you need the hero power in order to get that 6 attack.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah, I choose Bladed.
Yeah. Leaves you with a 6/4
Bladed trades
on board.
2/2 and you just don't miss any face damage.
I'm just glad I'm not playing this game.
It is not looking great for the mage, but I mean, mage can swing so quickly.
Oh, wow. Well, that's a big pickup for Mage too, finding the ring toss.
But we can't actually corrupt it on this turn and play it.
See what else Combustion picked up.
Could lab partner? We can't lab partner Combustion and ring toss, so we'll have to leave up the 2/2 and the 1/1. I think.
I
Do you
mean,
ever
maybe
just-
it's still just better to, like
Maybe-
clear with the fulcrum.
Try an ice barrier next turn.
Do you ever just
Still
ring
can't.
toss to try and hopefully find the barrier? Just for one?
I think you can't do that play here because that Bladed Lady's too dangerous. I mean, even like clearing only the Bladed Lady and playing single secret, it's turn 6, 3 power on board with you at 10. You should feel like reasonably comfortable that Demon Hunter doesn't have
Yeah.
a super high likelihood with 4 cards in hand of killing you here. And Apexis is nice. You could also roll a taunt.
This is the only way to actually corrupt the.
Oh,
the
wow.
next turn.
Yeah, this seems like the best
What a pick.
option. You get a rush or a
Good find. I
taunt.
like this line from Neji for sure.
Yeah. Now we have this much safer ring toss to get maybe even a counter spell with the ice barrier. Oh, Corturus actually fantastic here. It's not damage, but it's
I
really
was
good.
about to say
way
this
to see-
Throwglaive looks really
Oh.
nice, but
Actually,
Um,
maybe the Ganarg.
Yeah, the
And just,
Ganarg pushes quite a bit of damage.
You can set up the
Ganarg,
Eldrachi
Glaive?
Warblades this turn, and then
just
the
because
Lethal
you
Elixir.
already have Glaive
as
you can
long as
push
the
3 and
As long
clear
as-
the board.
as long as this mage doesn't get Ice Barrier, we'll have lethal the following turn.
I think that Mage doesn't always do a great job doing defense and board control at the same time. So I like the Kirchwist more.
Grows short.
I like the Kurt choice a lot.
Plus, it does
because it
progress-
enables Watch Post as well, just to get played on this turn. A little bit more efficient with the mana than, trying to push 1 or something.
Yeah, I think the Eldrachi could have lost to the ice barrier here. There's nothing in hand for Demon Hunter to have gas. So this is much better of a board state going into an ice barrier.
Another consideration for the Kurtrus is that it progresses us towards an achievement of killing enemy minions with Kurtrus.
That is the best reason. And I think probably the number 1 reason why Lefty and Kel decided to pick it. We do it for the achievement. Ooh, bad options so far here.
We can get get the Frost
Oh,
Element.
wow.
No barrier.
And did not find the barrier. That's brutal.
It's very unusual. I think there's only 7 secrets. Is that correct?
Ooh,
I think
Sounds
there
about
might be
right.
less than 7. Maybe 6?
Or
No,
I'm not sure. Let me see. I will get an answer.
But good top deck and a good card to be able to test a counter spell to enable the skull to be played here.
Demons.
If you're lefty, I think you want to just throw out this I-beam and skull, considering just throwing out the Throwglaive because I-beam could be more valuable and they don't really care about Throwglaive's ability. That's fine. Might be better.
There's 6 secrets.
6 secrets. Yep.
And- Wow.
Yeah, just an absolute brick, which could wind up costing Neji this game here. Okay, I like this play from Lefty and Kel, saying, Throwglaive isn't really going to do much of anything, so let's just get rid of it, test the
That's a
counter spell with it.
That's a cheap Inquisitor.
and- yeah,
do
now
we
you
even
can just
attack?
equip the Warblades and punch face.
But if this procs the Ice Barrier from a Lefty's point of view, then it allows a second Ice Barrier to be played, but finds none.
Yeah, I mean, you always have to proc the Ice Barrier anyway. You're not getting there with like some kind of burst damage. You have to hit them in the face, so barrier's always going off. So this is absolutely the correct swing. And now Lefty knows it's not barrier, which means this is almost certainly lethal. I don't see a way it's not.
If Neji can find an ice barrier, and then the Oasis Alley gets procced, that's the only out I can think of.
Yeah, it's a big ask here.
It is.
Yeah, I think both
So
both
I don't know if you
secret
can lead the discount.
are both ring tosses gone. I believe they are, right?
I thought they only played one. We
I think
unfortunately
I've
don't
only
have a
seen one.
tracker up.
There's only been one only time to even corrupt the one.
Right.
Okay, still digging. Font is maybe some kind of out that we are unaware of. Get bricks.
Oh,
AI, more bricks,
that's not it.
and that's game. Illidari Inquisitor gonna lock this game up.
I think there was an out. You could hit Refreshing Spring Water, and that would corrupt the 2 mana. If you get like Refreshing Spring Water and the beam, you could get 2 secrets.
Yeah, but didn't happen for Neji. We see the concede. All you got to say on that one at the end is green rag good.
Yeah. It's not rag. It's a lot better than rag.
It's green rag. Green rag is OP.
So that brings us down to the finals of the finals, which is Nails versus Lefty. Who'd have thunk it? Lefty and Kel punching through some big wigs, big names.
Yeah, props to Lefty and Kel. I definitely did not expect that they would make it this far, so that is really impressive to see them just tearing through this field of incredibly strong players.
Certainly, but it's not over yet. He still has to get through Nails. Very strong player. And the Weapon Rogue, which has raised some questions, but not failed yet.
Yeah, probably should have, but that's on me.
See, Ron, it could have been you at the finals, dude. But
I wanted to be here casting with you guys. We're
Yes, you
talking
did.
about. We
Yes,
call
you
that a
did.
tactical throw.
tactical. I like that. That's good.
Ron, the content god, throwing for content.
That's
as
right.
always.
Listen, man, I gotta go. I gotta do content. Peace out. See you later.
Sorry, Clarity. Shouldn't have
Yeah.
picked me as your partner. I'm throwing for content later.
So that brings us with
Just really well played and well earned by Nails and Lumble. So
100%.
very exciting. Nails and Lumble versus Lefty and Kel. And we'll see who can take down the prize.
Yeah. So I also want to throw out a big, huge shout out to Nice Jewish Al and Heatshock for joining us for the first 2 lightning rounds. It seemed like there was a little bit of a delay at the beginning, but got there and started casting like crazy. So
Yeah, this tournament has been flying by for sure. I'll guess I'll head out and I'll leave the casting to you guys.
yeah,
It's been great.
yeah. Thanks so much, Heatshock.
Always a pleasure, Heatshock.
So we have with
You guys
us,
were the-
tonight we have Geranium Gordon, and then we have Superman Ron, second place Mexico.
Second
I don't
place.
feel like those two things go together, but all right.
The only way
Superman
Ron would
second
be-
place.
The only way Ron could be second place now is if there was a Thug Finals where he came back.
I've already DM'd Tuno like 3 times that Saku called me Superman. We're good.
Yeah, see? Perfect. All right. So I don't know if players are in, but I'm going to double check here. So Lefty's going to be at the bottom of the screen with Nails at the top of the screen there.
That's crazy. Lefty and Kel haven't dropped a game yet.
Not yet.
Even crazier thing, Saku is sharing his screen with us, and I get to see that he has way more friends than I do.
Oh, for sure. Sokka has more friends than everyone.
I don't find that crazy at all.
Friendliest guy in all of Hearthstone.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, you could get this many friends.
They actually allowed Saku to go past the maximum number.
Yep. So what the double band Paladin, so that was no surprise.
Yeah, not a
Oh
huge
yeah, we
surprise.
always ban Paladin. Best deck in the format. Get it out of here.
But I thought Hunter was the best deck.
Look,
it's
As
the
Not
best deck.
anymore, my friend. Not
After you
anymore.
ban Paladin, it's the best deck.
As a Paladin lover myself, let me just say that I hate this format because everyone bans my Paladin.
Oh, the curse of being too OP.
Yeah.
Very true. All right, so Nails is coming in with Mage and Rogue. We got Lefty with Demon Hunter and Hunter. So, man after his own heart. Hey, Ron.
Hey, I dig it. I got double Hunter in the names of their classes, and I am here for it. Gotta
And
be a
we are
Lefty fan right now.
rocking and rolling right now. So, let's go to match 1.
Match 1. We've got the Hunter versus the Rogue.
Who can hit the other in the face harder, faster?
Exactly.
Back when reveal time was going around, the two weapons, the new poison weapon was going in the rounds, and people were saying that it wasn't going to be that good. I mean, why not both? It sounds like.
I love it. All right, we see double Wolper and an arcane shot. I like this play from Lefty here. Maximum board presence and pressure. And this rogue for Nails is almost completely focused on burn damage. There's very few minions in the deck. So any kind of sustained minion pressure can be disastrous for Nails here. Just equipping the sword means that's guaranteed take 5 from Face Maw.
Yeah, and then really take an additional 4 from the Wolpentingers that are just sitting around. And this is going to be a mad dash. And it looks like Lefty is finding every way to go fast.
Yeah, and actually,
Ooh, tracking.
yeah, I don't think the top deck's good enough here to prompt a play other than Knife Vendor. I love
Oh,
it. Just
yeah.
jam it on the board right away. Take that damage yourself. Send more damage to Nails. Keep hitting him with the Wolpers. And the Rogue is in trouble.
Yeah.
Pretty much saying,
Slap the
"Fight me."
3-4. Yeah,
Fight
exactly. I'm going to knife you and myself. Let's go. Man, Cult Neophyte, going to be a little obtrusive here, but not really going to make a huge difference.
Yeah, as Lefty is already representing 4 off lethal just from board with the button. We can see that Plunderer should be clearing up
Yeah, double
both 4 health minions. Yeah, he's played 4 cards, so both 4 health minions get killed here.
Yeah, so that helps stabilize a little bit, but tracking Adorable is Nails just too far behind now.
Well, keep in mind that this Cult Neophyte was probably one of the best possible cards for Nails to top deck because this does make these cards cost more in Lefty's hand. And this, oh wow,
That's
pretty
really
good.
strong draw.
I mean, another thing is that Nails is now just on the board than Lefty, and they're about the same life total, brought it all the way back. So it's not actually looking that far behind for the Rogue anymore.
True. I don't love the tracking play here from Lefty. I think the play had to be Wound Prey Adorable and play your 1/1. You could have taken almost, I think, an actual complete full clear, but instead choosing to draw and float mana. Gonna ignore this 3/2 then, maybe?
Oh, I think you have to ignore it, right? If you trade off, you're giving it all back. I mean, Rogue
the
has
name
one...
of the deck is Face Hunter. It's not Trade Hunter.
We don't
Come
play
on
that.
now.
We also
Slinger in hand, but no way to pick it back up.
we also want to leave a trade for the Trampling Rhino, though.
There's the trade for the Rhino. Penflinger is
yeah.
probably about the most ideal trade for a Rhino that you could ever hope for as the Hunter. And Nails is holding a hand that says, I'm going to
Ooh.
lose this game.
Double... Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. We have a disconnect.
Maybe not. Little tomfoolery have... Oh, no, we're back.
That's right.
I mean, trampling... Oof, I don't know.
You probably still just adorable one of these 1/1s and kill
And trade
the
off the
3/2.
Neophyte. You are getting low enough where, I mean, one good Secret Passage top deck and Rogue is back into this.
All right, I know we said we're not Trade Hunter, but that's probably why you wanted to buff the other one. So you could keep a little bit of a wider board. This is still fine, ultimately. The same play pretty much happens that you send pressure, but
2-9.
it's a little bit maybe further off. It's still lethal though. And yeah, the draws from nails, not a chance. Double sword in hand with sword equipped. Not good.
That's a sword in each hand and one in the mouth.
And
I will say-
Face Hunter picks up the win.
Centralizing the buff on the Rhino does make it much harder to clear for the Rogue, though. So that is quite a big thing to have the 6/5 still left around, make it actually lethal on the backswing.
This is true. Pretty relevant and good point there. It does play around specifically like a Wicked Stab that could have cleared it.
Do you think you see that rogue come right back out, knowing the Demon Hunter's coming out, or do you roll onto the mage?
I think. Well, I mean, it depends. It's not like you're playing this for points. So maybe they want to get it over with faster if they do lose and say, okay, mage is technically the unfavorable. Let's just queue it up.
Yep. Seems to be the way.
The legion's rage.
But technically unfavorable is hard to quantify when, you know.
Talking about mage.
I don't know if anybody caught my game against Nails in game 1, Demon Hunter versus Mage, but it got pretty dirty on the Mage side.
We have the Incanters for the mage, just looking for one more. Inquisitor a little bit early in hand.
All these Demon Hunter minions are here just a tad bit early.
Ooh. Ruined Orb is a very nice pickup.
Coining out the flow.
So we're away from Grand Slam territory.
Ooh, I don't love Illidari studies with an Inquisitor in hand already blocking anything to be outcasted left, but sometimes you find a Spectral Sight and you take it and rip it.
Yeah, sometimes you draw 2 cards.
Sometimes you just get the best one.
I don't know what else we would go at. The Vile Fiend maybe for some tempo next turn. But you draw a card into hand, so...
YOLO Glide.
Yo,
Turn 3, no outcast, just reshuffle your hand.
I mean, honestly, without the outcast, it's not the worst because your hand's kind of...
No, it's a terrible play.
I don't
It's
know,
terrible.
man. This hand is a brick right now.
So they take the Vile Fiend Trainer. It's fine, I guess, for pressure. I think I really would have liked it with the way this hand was designed and with the turn 3 play already in hand with Hero Power Mana Feeder that they just ripped that 1 mana card draw. But they decide to try to go pressure instead. The minion gets cleared. No way you take fair game.
No,
Nail's
you're
gonna
always
take
getting
fair
hit, right?
game?
You're always getting hit in the face. It's got to be a brain
That's a
freeze here.
move. He is hovering that fair game.
Oh boy. Both these players are taking some very interesting cards off their discoveries.
I mean, Mirror Entity isn't terrible. But I only see the mouse going over Rigged Fair Game, which to me seems like a strange choice against a class that has 1 mana hit you in the face and deactivate your Fair Game. But there it is, it's Fair Game.
I suppose they're worried about the lack of card draw they're finding right now.
But how do you activate your card draw when you keep getting hit in the
When you
face?
keep getting hit in the face. I know what you mean, Ron. Okay. Well, speaking of card draw.
There we go. Oh, and I mean, they could set up a later card draw and a really strong minion. But right now, card draw might be superior.
Oh, okay.
Also,
Also
cleared
dealing with a 5.
damage.
Yeah.
I mean, the Blood Mage Thalamus does actually represent the same amount of card draw if they went for the cram studies.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we see Mana Feeder draw is bladed. Lefty with not a whole lot to do here, and Nail's starting to pick up some solutions to the problems being presented.
We do see. Oh my goodness, are we going to see the devolve? If that devolving comes down, it does. So I mean, Ogremancer is pretty free next turn.
Yeah, this play though is perfectly calculated to say you want to play a minion and not hit my face, so I can get this fair game up and draw.
That's true.
Whoa.
Really nicely done by Nails.
They missed the opportunity for a second fair game.
I
show
can't
everyone-
imagine why they didn't take a second one.
Is this Ogremancer too tempting to slam? I think it is.
So the next level pick of rigged fair game off of the discover early, and it gets played right here on turn 4 and gets triggered immediately for draw.
Oh, it finds the second and the lunacy.
Here comes the devolving.
Is it all going to hit
Just
the
need to
2/2?
hit the ogre once.
Got it. Kargath.
All right, if we see a Kargath Prime in this game get 10 armor, I don't even know what I'm going to do with myself.
I don't know. Oh, more card draw in the cutting class. Here we go. It's going to get out of hand soon.
It's all
What are these
lunacy
mate
now,
spells
and
going to be?
wow, actually picks up cheaper burn spells that you already run. You transformed your higher cost burn spells and then took your low cost things and made them burn spells. That's just nuts.
That's just silly.
You might say it's almost lunacy.
Oh.
Wow.
He went for it.
Exit
Thanks,
the
man.
stage
He
right.
gave him the softball and he went for it.
Hell yeah.
If you make jokes like that, I'm going to deck you.
Oh,
Oh my god.
Ooh.
prepare yourselves.
I can't handle the
Prepare.
wordplay.
I think they're deciding between if they want to just slam a bladed lady for 6 or push this relentless with an Eldrachi, because that's really all I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, I think you pretty much just need to play the full cost Bladed Lady. You would have
Yeah.
preferred to play it for 1, but at the same time, it's still coming down to this turn is the more important element. But looks like Lefty and Kel opt not to play this Bladed Lady. I mean, maybe you could use it to like counter an Apexis summon, but your opponent's already played deck. Who knows
I
what
like
happens?
this quite a bit less because now the Eldrachi Warblades is probably going to be used for an attack along with the Relentless Pursuit next turn, whereas that's going to not allow it to be used with the Inquisitor on turn 8.
Right, the Warblade's equip wasn't the greatest plan, but it was still fine as long as they didn't swing to set up the turn 8. Immediately ripping Kazakus here instead of maybe they're holding back the weapon swing now for the Inquisitor then.
Yeah, that would have to be the thought, but I almost think they want to relentless to get the bladed lady. It's interesting. What do you think Gollum we're taking here?
5.
I'd usually default to 5, but there's an argument for 10 here because of your turn 8 play, and your turn 9 play could be Bladed Lady. With 10 mana Golem is tempting.
Yeah, 10 mana is definitely a super tempting right now.
And then they take the 1, and we're like,
They
what?
take the 1. Stealth?
Yeah, just make it resistant to the removal.
Stealth's pretty good.
If
We
this
don't know
is the
yet
10.
if they took the 10 or the
True.
5.
Okay.
They took the 10.
They took the 10.
Yeah, I guess board freeze or damage is both good. I don't think you want the draw, though.
No, you draw enough as a Demon Hunter naturally. I think the freeze is okay. Buy you a turn when you slam this, and then you can push more to the face.
We're going to play 3 mana Eye Beam. Okay,
I know
just
it's
float the
good.
mana. Can we see the Golem?
I want to see the Golem.
Lifesteal
Steal
damage.
damage.
Okay, lifesteal damage. All right.
Oh, sprint picked up on the side of the mage for nails and
Another
another
Sprint picked
sprint.
up on the side for the mage.
Can you say it again?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
If they draw
goodness.
another one, I'll say it again. Yeah.
All right, so if Berserk is tuning into this stream, gotta just be sick to their stomach here with this Lunacy Mage picking up draw and more draw and more draw when they were starved for draw in their game. But, sometimes that's how Mage rolls.
There's a very fine line between Mage getting too much draw and literally sitting in your hand. You're just drawing cards that draw you cards to draw you cards. And then there's the zero man, like no draw, you have 0 cards in hand. But this is, I think, the perfect symbiosis relationship for Nails and Lumbee right now.
I think Nails and Lumble may have just won this game because there is a 6-mana card in their hand that is the hardest counter to Demon Hunter that exists.
Wait, you're trying to tell me healing for 8 and making an 8/8 Divine Shield with taunt is good?
Possibly only challenged by, I guess, a Deep Freeze, but Libram of Hope and Deep Freeze are the anti-Demon Hunter cards of all anti-Demon Hunter cards. And it looks like Lefty and Kel are worried about health enough to not jam the Inquisitor here. I think it's probably the right line.
Yeah, I mean, you just saw an intense amount of draw on the Mage's side, so they're either holding nothing or they have so much burn in hand. And I mean,
the only decision I didn't like here was actually the Battle Fiend, because Battle Fiend blocked the ability to play the other I-Beam to clear up the 2/2. And just protect the health more on the Bladed Lady.
And with that, it's looking like there's no hope for this Demon Hunter.
Kargath!
Pride,
Wow.
baby!
Oh my god, it happened!
It can happen. They can
it
do
actually gains 10.
It can happen.
You tank 8 and you gain 10. Unbelievable!
This is the turn for it.
Wow. He showed up in our time of need.
I called it and it happened. Oh, that's amazing.
Party over here? Yeah, party over here.
What is
That's
this game?
outrageous.
And as I was just saying, looks like there's no hope for Nails.
I mean, honestly, this is still fine for Nails. You've got just tons of cards. You're not thrilled that your opponent just had that kind of play, but that was a one-time play that they're able to do, and Nails just has all the shenanigans.
It's
Can
gotta be
opt
Ice
for
Barrier.
conservative on Ice Barrier, but I really like Mirror Entity here. You've already seen your opponent play some very cheap minions, and you expect maybe bigger minions could be coming down. Oasis Ally could also be extremely huge. This is specifically the counter Illidari Inquisitor pick, right? These two.
Yeah, we still, and I mean, Nail still knows that Golem is sitting in hand too, so we haven't seen it, so he can kind of tell that it might just be a 5 or a 10, because you might have seen a 1 at some point.
So this play is like the height of bait here from Nails and Lumble. It's saying, go ahead, play Illidari Inquisitor. I know you want to. I know you want to play it. Hit me. This will summon an 8/8 rusher. Lefty's going to want to hero power hit face, send the 8 damage face, and then a lot of times as Demon Hunter you feel like you want to trade. Wooden is specifically Oasis Ally, and there's the bad news.
Yeah.
That's a minion that freezes your face for the game. Lefty has to I-beam this right now in order to clear it with the Golem. Does not do it.
Well, as a side note, actually, the Illidari Inquisitor, if it gets frozen by attacking into this Water Elemental and then it lives, it can still go face.
It still attacks, yep.
But only if your face isn't frozen, which, as we can see, is not a likely outcome for Lefty and Kel here. Yeah. I would expect face is going to get frozen for a little while. The Inquisitor can clear the 3/6, but you know, it's probably going to be too little too late by this point with all the burn that Nails is holding.
And at some point, it might not be a small little 3/6 anymore.
It still dies to the Inquisitor, though.
Being set to 10, I mean... Okay. Illidari Studies could pick up another I-beams.
These are bad options.
These are upsetting.
I mean, Dreadlord's Bite is damage.
I mean, I
But
guess
your
you could
face is
pick
frozen.
glide and play your other plays and then try to glide later. I don't know. It's all bad.
Hope that your mage's opponent's next hand won't be as good as this one.
Yeah. And then you just shovel their cards into their deck and they get another Libram Hope.
Yeah, they just get better cards. Takes a Dreadlord's Bite, but we have to play this Inquisitor and trade.
Yeah, there's just no good outcomes here. You leave a 8/3 frozen minion on the board. Your face gets unfrozen. I guess you can I-beam if you want just to have a little bit more health, but if the Inquisitor doesn't trade, this is
We're
going to
dead.
be game over.
Okay.
So yeah, just trying to get a little bit more life to dodge some of the burn. And that's more burn. Wow.
This mage isn't
Nails
running any
took
non-mage.
Well, I say
took a
rip it.
deck full
Yeah.
of burn, got rid of the burn, and transformed different cards into burn. Gets the lethal. What an insane game.
So what does that mean, Ron? What are we walking into it again?
Oh, you know it. It is the best words in all of Hearthstone, my friends. Once again, game 3.
35.
Wait a minute. I feel like that's
3, sir.
usually game 5. Game 3 is the best words.
Yeah.
Until we have a 5-game series, and then we'll say game 5. Do we have a game 3 redemption?
I don't. We might have to do. We might have to create one if we're gonna
Yeah,
keep doing.
we'll probably have to create it.
best, yeah.
In the meantime,
The
just
sec-
spam your game
Just
5s
spam
anyway.
game 3s or 5s or.
Okay, and it's down to Demon Hunter versus Rogue. The aggro weapon rogue facing off against the Demon Hunter. This matchup is going to be face racing for the rogue and all about heal and control for the Hunter.
I mean, pretty solid
Pretty-
starts for both
Really,
players.
really good opening hand on Lefty's side and on Nail's side. I mean, basically everything you want to see.
Is that
Two
Two
full
the,
specific cards you want very, very much. Sword and Deadly Poison.
is that the draw poison, the 2 mana?
I believe
Or is
so.
that the immune?
It's hard to tell from the upside down art.
That
but
is
I think
the
it's the
that's
draw.
the draw one.
That's
The
the
draw
draw
is
one.
2 mana, and the immune is 1 mana.
Ah, see, that shows how much I play Rogue, or this Rogue anyway.
Also play against Rogue, unfortunately.
Silverleaf
yes.
poison. There we go.
Silver leaf poison.
Oh, I'm pretty surprised to see the I-beam get pitched just because it's such useful healing. Although, in fairness, the rogue deck does run quite a bit less minions than the previous iteration of Weapon Rogue that ran stealth minions.
Yeah, this one only running 4 minions.
Many.
Because I don't think you ever find
6?
Penflinger. Oh, 6 with
Oh,
prize.
you're saying Penflinger never sticks around on board.
Yeah, I'm saying Penflinger is I mean, I would really hope so, but you never know. 8 include if you include Penflinger, I suppose. Which, wow, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, never mind.
And to punish not keeping the I-beam. The
I mean, I
rogue
don't know
over
if
there.
you'd actually want to use I-beam to have 0 life gain on a removal.
Hey, there's a nerfed card.
Lefty
The
and
rogue
Kel
seems to
being
really devalue
offered
this Penflinger.
draw damage and draw, but one of them is playable right now to draw more cards. And they elect Glavesmith. Get to push a little bit more damage.
So it has to be.
Surprised by the Flinger play from Nails, honestly.
It's just to clean up the coin sword, yeah. But you could have saved your Flinger and essentially prepped out. It's interesting.
All right, getting the card draw, clearing up the minion. And card draw is pretty huge in this deck too.
Maybe
Oh,
Nails was thinking that
ogre.
the Penflinger was going to be too many cards in hand. You know, going to draw 4 with this weapon over here.
Speaking of important cards, Lefty and Cal picking up that Ogre Mancer, which you know they really want to jam on the board on turn 5.
Wow, this self-sharpening sword is starting to get out of hand.
Yep. And draws a card with each swing as well. Let's see what the
It's a
pickup
second
is.
deadly poison.
More damage. That's a tough call here for Nails. Do you want to just throw this down, be efficient with your mana, get the weapon more buffed, or do you want to save it for the Shank? Do you feel like it's even relevant that you play the Shank with this and give it durability?
You know, I see 2 mana. There's a hero power active. Oh, okay.
I think you could hold on to it really because you have
It's
the
played in
Plunderer in
Blood.
hand. And the Plunderer can definitely
holding
help out.
activators for Plunderer definitely feels solid.
Yeah.
And here we see, Lefty and Kel just throwing out this Glavesmith with no outcasted. This is gonna get rough.
Yeah,
for
and
Lefty
I mean,
and Kel here.
Cult Neophyte drawn. There's a free
Oh,
cutting
man.
class as well. I mean, oh boy.
Gives you all you need.
You don't draw first? Yeah.
Nails might have been considering just playing Neophyte and
Oh my
passing
goodness.
on that turn. But yeah, I think this is almost game over here.
Yeah.
The rogue deck is saying you have to draw now.
I don't actually see any realistic chance that Lefty and Kel can possibly win. I think this is over.
I think so. I mean, Ogremancer is too little too late. We've got 8, 13. We have so much from hand, Secret Passage,
And I think
Swindle the
Ogremancer
Dig.
has to be the play, but
I grow impatient.
Ogremancer kill the 3/2 and just hope your opponent either sends the 8 damage into the Ogremancer or doesn't have it.
Summon not you.
There is the Ogre.
What we're looking for is 3 damage. Will this Swindle have it? 1 damage even.
So Ogremancer definitely presents a bit of a problem, but Nails can keep drawing. Just gonna maybe not play any secrets and set up the lethal for next turn. Go Neophyte Sword.
Yeah, puts a skull
Or
at a
Shank.
hand for next turn.
Yeah, makes the turn for Lefty more awkward. Gets to equip the Shank and lethal next turn, so couldn't quite pick up. Oh, Not
and
enough.
it pushes the Relentless Pursuit out
Yeah.
of way too.
yeah, that Neophyte just doing work here.
I mean, this rogue has only 6 minions and drew all of them.
You can throw Glaive once on the 3/2. Trade the Ogre into the 2/1. You send face damage, and you just die.
Yeah, heal the 10
Going up
and
to 11
or
health isn't
11.
enough. In fairness, Nail still technically doesn't have it, but I just don't see a way that they don't. Yep.
There it is.
Now they have it.
Yeah,
And-
with Passage and Swindle in hand, I don't know if there was a way that outcome ever happened. This even with a Pen Flinger on
so we
one.
have a duos champion. It is Nails and Lumble taking some absolute nail-biting games and just squeaking by with incredible play to just will their way to victory. I mean, it was literally down to a 0 mana tap at one point to go to 1 health and find the lethal to not get eliminated in one of those games, but just inspired gameplay from this weapon rogue that picks up a crucial win and a duos title.
Those were some insane nail biters, but turns out Nails wasn't the one getting bitten.
Oh, I knew
Ooh.
something like that was coming. Well played.
Gonna end the stream after that note. Thanks, Geranium. Appreciate it.
Oh, no problem.
First time on, last time on. Yeah. Here we go.
No, I was on a school stone before this.
Oh, were you? Okay, sorry, buddy. So I'm just trying to get a hold of Nails right now so we can elaborate on how he felt his squad did. Obviously, they did great, but
I'll stall with another one. It was like nails on a chalkboard, and these guys were putting them through the school academy.
Oh wow. How many more of these you got?
well thought out.
I'm really driving home all these nails puns.
Oh.
Hey.
All right. I'm here for it.
All right, we're putting the nail in the coffin for this one, and
Oh, look, you got Saku doing it now.
I've been lumbled.
Yep. Very
Oh
humbled.
no, he got
super humbled by Lumble. All right, here comes Nails. Don't have Lumble, but we'll see if he can add Lumble. Hey Nails, how are you?
Hello.
You able
What's
to
going
invite
on?
Lumble in here as well?
Well, Lumble had to leave. He had
Oh, okay.
stuff to do, apparently.
Welcome, Nails. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
Really well played. I may have helped you a bit along the way in that game 3 of our match in the first one, but you know, you exploited it very well, and you and Lumble played amazingly. You had
Thank you.
so many close calls. It was really fun to watch.
Yeah, no, we thought we were out in round 1. There was we tapped down to 1 mana as rogue, with
Yup.
yoink into lethal. Like, it's like, I don't know. I guess we lose this mage. Oh wait, that says
Yeah,
lethal.
wait a minute. I mean, I guess we press the button because we have to,
Yeah,
because
no,
we're
the
dead
water rally
otherwise.
just
So let's
stuck
go to
for like
1.
3 turns, and
Yeah,
we're a weapon deck. Thought we were
those were some exciting
screwed.
games. I personally, I lost it when I saw, even though it didn't swing the actual match, but when I saw the Kargath Prime come down, what were you guys thinking when that happened?
Yeah, that was a devolve, and
That cracked me up,
it
man.
the
Oh,
spells that we got were nothing but card draw. It was in that game in the finals, which is it's like a weird thing to complain about, but your cards have to do something. It's not an issue that comes up very much. There's not that like there's enough card draw that it doesn't brick very often, but um yeah, it was a weird game.
Yeah, just a quick question.
Uh,
Why play Deck of Lunacy when all the cards that did anything that game were mage cards?
Entirely fair. So it turns out like um Mask of Cthulhu was only 4 mana when we got it off of Deck of Lunacy, and so that's
yeah,
like better than
easy.
7 mana.
Yeah, who needs to keep your main decked 7 mana Mask of Cthulhu when you can just transform that into a different spell and then transform a different spell into a cheaper version of it. It was really smart. I
Yeah,
liked it.
you get a Libram of Hope and a Mask of Cthulhu. It's like it's worth a card slot in your deck.
I was kind of baffled that you guys like transformed burn and then got the actual burn that you main decked for cheaper. Didn't you also get like cheap fire? But it was
Oh yeah, no,
crazy.
we top
It's
decked the cheap fireball. Like, I could have fireballed the baby Kargath, and I was like, nah, we're playing a broken deck, and you just cutting class into the fireball instead of playing the fireball. It's great.
yep, easy.
I mean, like the real answer for that was I was just fine with taking 4 there, but
Right, of course.
um, it it was pretty cool.
It was a pretty stark contrast to the Deck of Lunacy low roll, though. We were on the caster side watching. I think it was your game against Berserk, where their Lunacy mage just couldn't find draw to save their life, and it was just single card after single card. Maybe that was
Yeah,
one
no, those
against
games
Neji,
happen
though.
sometimes.
I'm mixing some of these games up.
I don't know. I mean, that sounds like the game that we played against Berserk. Like we were just doing stuff and they weren't. So
But yeah, I think we're all
Yeah.
excited to also see the reign of terror of lunacy come to an end in just a few days.
Hey, I like the deck.
Looking forward to I'm looking forward to seeing some nerfs. I'm sure you like the deck. It seemed like it worked out pretty nicely for you. But yeah, congratulations on the victory. You and Lumble take home the prize. Did you get a chance to ask Lumble before he had to go if there was any shout outs he wanted to give or have you mentioned for him?
He and we didn't really talk about it. He just had to go do something. Uh, so he just like said like good job. Then
Way to go, scrub. You know the words of
yeah,
praise you need.
yeah, that type of stuff. You
Okay.
know,
Nice.
yeah, it's stuff that you
Sweet.
say
Well, fair enough.
when you win a tournament.
That's
Yeah.
right.
True humility.
Yeah. So how did you find that? This is your first duos tournament? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, just like being in the THL server,
Yeah.
just saw the announcement.
Yeah.
Asked my pro team if anyone wanted to sign up, and
You went.
Yeah.
We noticed your late entry and it's like, okay, so Nails brought somebody. That's good.
yeah, I mean, we were planning to play, just didn't submit until like 4 minutes before signups closed.
Yeah, I had a little bit of a rude awakening there. I was looking at the whole field of names and talking to Clarity, and I'm like, okay, let's get hyped for this. It's going to be good. I'm looking at the field. Like, there's a lot of really strong players, but it'll be fine. We got a shot. Just play our game. And then game one, I'm like, wait, what? I'm playing Nails? What? Oh. But,
yeah, no, I mean, like
yeah.
we were planning to play it for the like I asked who wants to play like a day or two after it went up. It just
The
I
0 hour registration with 4 minutes to go and take it down the tournament. I mean, you love to see it.
Yep. So congrats there, Nails, to you and Lumble. And thanks for joining us on
Thank
the
you.
cast.
Yeah, any final words from you, Nails? I know I asked if you had final words from Lumble, but any shout outs you want to give personally or other things you want to say while we have you?
I mean, shout outs to Team 5 for printing Lunacy Mage. It's an absolute ball to play.
All right, cut his mic.
Love this
Cut his
deck.
mic. Get him out of here.
So much fun. Super skill intensive, unironically.
Nice.
Coin
Nice,
lunacy
nice.
easy. That's what it is. So
Exactly.
I gotta practice
Except
that.
when you don't, and you have to like. I mean, you don't have to practice it. Like the spell mage lines are still going to be relevant. I doubt spell mage is going to be bad. Just the lunacy and knowing, like having a super intricate understanding of all of the card pools is not going to be
Yeah.
very important because I assume lunacy is going to be unplayable. I don't actually know that it will be, but like it's mostly useful against aggro for just cheesing. Like it just turns your matchup into close to evenish when you hit it, and
Yep.
when you're spell mage and you can get aggro matchups to evenish, that's stupid.
Probably a bit too hard to evaluate for now when we don't know what the nerf will be, even though we're all kind of speculating it'll go to 4 and that might kill the card, but we don't know what the other nerfs will be. We'll see. I think
I
Spell
mean,
Mage would still be strong without it.
yeah, it's just going to be more matchup reliant, and not have like favorable into the field except for Paladin.
Do you think that
It's a good time
the
for
card? Do you think the card will die if it goes to 4?
I mean, it's hard to say. I think that so like I was saying, it's most useful for just getting through aggro matchups and dropping stupid tempo bombs early game. And if the mana cost is high enough, it doesn't respond to aggro because you're playing it for 4 mana on turn 4 instead of for 2 mana on turn 1. And it's just so much slower and you die to aggro. And you can't, like, you can still incanters into the Libram of Hope, but you're still reliant on high rolling that. Being able to fit in lunacy for 1 is, or after incanters on like turn 5 or something, and then draw into the hope on 6 is like a pretty common line, and you just can't do that if it's taking up your entire turn. So like the card is going to be so much worse. I think it just doesn't make the cut. Like you would probably, I don't even know if you would choose to run it in those matchups. Yeah. like by turn 5 or something, it's already too late for the dumbest high rolls to exist. Like you can't get overgrowth when it's super important. You can't like yeah, it's so many aspects of the card are going to be worse. I can't really see it being playable.
I like it. Well reasoned. I mean, we've seen how many times a 1-mana nerf is insanely impactful. A 2-mana nerf is
It should
often
completely kill the
killing a
card.
card. Yeah, but
Um,
we will see.
Yep.
Spellman should be fine though.
Yeah. Well, again, congrats to Nails and Lumbo winning the duo tournament for tonight. Huge congrats to Lefty and Kel powering their way through some pretty strong teams as well, and going straight to final game. So.
Where are my manners? Shoutouts to y'all for putting this on.
Hey, no worries, man. You can thank
Hey,
Desharmo.
Saku the goat. And yeah, it was all Desharmo too, especially setting up duos. Duos has been like a baby of Desharmo's for a bit, and I always think it's a really fun tournament to run. So
Yeah.
glad
Yeah,
that Desharmo was able to put it together for
playing
us.
with friends is so much more fun than playing individually. Like the game is played at a higher level, and it also, yeah, it's just fun to hang out with friends.
Exactly. Yep. That's what
Yeah.
it was made for too. So it's good.
Perfect.
All right.
Great format.
All right. Well, that brings us the stream here to a close. So thank you very much to all the casters. So earlier on it was Heat Shock and a Nice Jewish Owl to help us out through the first 2 rounds and a little bit, and then we had the lovely Geranium battle. Gordon and Ron Mexico finishing off with a flurry and some I can't even think of the word right now. The puns closing it out with all
yes.
the puns. So
The nails related puns.
yes. So Hat wasn't here. So did you have something to say, Nails?
Oh no, I was just chuckling.
Oh, okay.
The existence of nails puns.
I could do one more for Nails. I mean, we didn't bring him here for a shaman, as his profile picture would suggest, but rather for congratulations. Great play.
Okay.
I love it.
Well, if everybody wants to wave to the camera and wave to our lovely viewers there, we are out of here.
Right. Can't see it, but I'm waving. Bye, everyone.
Have a
great night.
weekend or Sunday. We are out of here.
Bye.
Goodbye.